Good morning, y'all. How's everyone doing this morning? I missed y'all yesterday. I had a lot going on yesterday morning around here, and I'd hurt my back when I cleaned out the chicken coop, like the nerves in my back. So yesterday morning, I just took the day off. I was going to stream last night, and I was like, nah. I ended up deleting it because I wanted to save it to chat with y'all this morning. So we have got a lot of news. Let me go over here to my live chat. They think they have found Brian Laundrie's body. Cheryl T was right. She has been saying in the chat, I think he done something to himself. I think he went and committed suicide. I don't think he's alive. She was right. But y'all know what? I got to thinking this morning. Of course, they're going to do DNA, but you know how crazy the world is? Like, what if they went to like an old cemetery and just like dug up a body and put it there with his backpack? I thought about that this morning, and Mark's like, I highly doubt that. And I was like, well, anything's possible. I've heard of crazier things before in these true crime cases, really. But they found his notebook and backpack. Let's see. Matt, Wayne, Tammy, Meemaw, Debbie. Good morning. Let me see. Red Rum, Cheryl T, Cheryl Lynn, Cement Shoes, Hibiscus, Colleen. Melanie, I think he got eaten by gators. It was partial remains after all. Yes, it says only partial remains. Also, I thought about this, Melanie. I thought, well, you know what? They got some big ass rattlesnakes in Florida. Well, if he got bit by a rattlesnake and just laid there and died, because you can die from the venom from a rattlesnake bite. Very, very potent. Or he could have just committed suicide. Who knows? I cannot wait till they verify that the remains are really his. Yes, thank God for DNA testing. Sure, we're the minority in that thinking, but yes, I thought he's been dead since missing day like 3. Really? See, I didn't know. Like, I did know that, like, he couldn't have survived out in the wilderness this long. He's not that experienced. He's only like 23 years old. How much experience could he really have roughing it in the woods? Come on, he grew up in a friggin' city. But I didn't know what had happened. I thought like, well, maybe he did commit suicide. And I thought, well, he's probably not got the nerve to do that. But it looks like I was wrong. Oh, I hope he got eaten by an alligator that just got done fasting. Oh, yeah. Alligators don't eat during the colder months. They do fast. Hey, Denise R. Let's, even though I don't like Brian Laundrie's parents, I think they remind me of Cindy and Ronnie Watts, but I'm still going to pray for them. I'm still going to pray for them. And you know what? I hope they see the light, come forward and do the right thing and tell what they know. Hey, Pink Sugar. Let me see. Let me find my stuff. Oh, let me get these Halloween witches down. I was looking up Halloween witches. Also, guys, I almost forgot. Larry Maletti in the May Maletti case. Been missing since last year. I believe May or something. Been since last May or something. Anyways, they finally arrested her husband, Larry, for murder. They still haven't found her body yet, though. Okay, what am I looking for? Oh, I got it in my private chat. Hold on. I forget that I put stuff in here. Oh, did y'all know that they had found like 4 or 5 bodies since they've been searching for Brian? I've got an article about that too. Also, we're going to talk about a nurse who killed 4 patients by injecting air into their arteries. Also, there is like an Amber Alert for a 3-year-old boy. I think his name is Major Major P. Harris, something like that. His mom was found murdered, and he's nowhere to be found. Also, there was a little girl that disappeared from a campground in Australia. Her mom and stepdad said they woke up and the little girl was not in the tent. But here's the kicker: the tent was zipped, and she couldn't have reached up there and unzipped that tent and let her own self out. Very suspicious of these people. Okay, let me find here. Find their article and share it. Partial remains. I was going to go live yesterday when I saw this on the news, and I was like, I'm going to kind of wait and see what else comes out. The Laundrie family attorney announced Wednesday that human remains found at the Carlton Reserve in Florida on Tuesday is likely of Brian Laundrie. This is the very area of the park that we initially informed law enforcement on. I believe it was September 17th that Brian would be most likely in the preserve in this particular area, lawyer Steve Bertolino said. It was quite near the entrance, about 30 minutes in. So 30 minutes from the entrance. A 30-minute walk from the entrance. A law enforcement official said on Wednesday that partial remains were found at the Carlton Reserve, where Laundrie's parents told police he was headed on September 13th, the last day they saw him. Now, see, the reserve was just now opened back up to the public, like a few days ago. Isn't that weird? And his family was going there searching with searchers, and the searchers find his body. Kind of weird. Okay. Did I read that? Partial remains were found. Okay, yeah. Earlier Wednesday, Bertolino also confirmed that articles belonging to Brian were found at the, oh my gosh, Kahachi or something, Creek Environmental Park, which is adjacent to the Carlton Reserve. The FBI Tampa Bureau announced Wednesday that the area they found Laundrie in had, up until recently, been underwater, making it difficult for searchers to find him. Laundrie's parents eventually went to the reserve after authorities opened the area up to the public. Then they then discovered personal items that belonged to Brian Laundrie. Isn't that weird, guys? They open up the Carlton Reserve. His parents go there to search. What do you know? They found items that belonged to him and partial remains. So far, official identification of the remains has not been made. I say that might take a few days. So he is wanted on felony warrant following the death of Gabby Petito. Okay, on September 19th, authorities found Gabby's deceased body in a remote area of the Bridger-Teton National Forest in Wyoming. According to the Teton County coroner, Dr. Blue, Gabby died from strangulation. Her death has been listed as a homicide. Authorities issued the warrant for Laundrie after he allegedly used a Capital One bank debit card without permission following Gabby's death. Okay, Laundrie's parents have insisted they have no clue where he is. They claimed he left their residence with a backpack on and headed to the Carlton Reserve on September 13th. They reported him missing 4 days later. Why did they wait 4 days to report him missing? I don't understand that. I think they should have been concerned when he didn't come back home that night. And they still cannot find Brian and Gabby's phones unless they're in that backpack of his that they found. Now, they have not said. I heard something on the news. I think I heard it right this morning. It said something about a dry bag. Maybe they meant like one of them drawstring bags. I don't know, but they said maybe that the phones were in that. Maybe it's some kind of bag that for, you take hiking or boating and stuff so you don't get your stuff wet. It's like waterproof. Who knows? But I did hear them say a dry bag, whatever the hell that means. I wonder if his parents told the FBI, like, look, he most likely be in this part of the reserve. Or they just now opening their mouth up about that. I mean, I'd love to know. I put up a video, man, they're all over TikTok. This couple cannot go anywhere. They were cornered, the Laundries were, leaving Look like Wally World. Look like they'd been grocery shopping. Here comes a TikToker, camera up in their face, asking them a bunch of questions about Brian and stuff. Now, people, use some common sense. Hey, if you approach me like that, I ain't gonna answer you either. Come up, approach me all aggressive and stuff like that. That is not the way to get answers from the laundries. Actually, doing things like that is just going to make them not want to talk more and more and more. They're not going to want to do it. So let's see. I wanted to share this. Hold on, I'm looking for something. Oh, the 5 bodies. Isn't that weird, guys, that they have found 5 bodies since they have been looking for Brian during their search for Brian Laundrie? 5 bodies. Let me see, Remy. Hey, Remy. Crying shame. Hey, Cynthia, I'm sorry. I can't believe this is too much of a quiz. I know it. I know it. I'm having a hard time, believing that they just actually stumbled upon this backpacking body. I mean, it's just so weird. They open the reserve up to the public. The laundries go there. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. They find a backpack and partial remains. You know, if it was me, I don't know if I would want to be out searching in the woods for my son's remains, stumbling upon it. Of course, I go to the ends of the earth to find them, but y'all know what I mean. Can y'all imagine finding your child, their remains in the woods? Okay. Now, I heard somebody say something about they knew it was Brian because the scalp had dandruff. A lot of people have dandruff. And hell, he don't got no hair. I guess it could have grown out a little bit. Hey, Birdie. Okay. 5 bodies have been found during the search for Florida fugitive Brian Laundrie, police say. Josue Calderon, pictured bottom left. Bottom left, that one? 33 was found stabbed to death in Blowing Rock, North Carolina at Blue Ridge Parkway. He was 800 miles from his Rhode Island home, his family said, according to My 40. The National Park Service, along with the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation, are investigating the incident. In Wyoming, the body of Robert Lowry, pictured bottom right, him, 46 years old, was found near the Black Canyon Trail in Bridger Teton National Forest last week. Investigators said the Texas man took his own life. The bodies of a newlywed couple were found in Utah in August. Kylan Schulte, 24, Crystal Turner, 38, were last seen before reported 2 friends that a creepy guy camping near them. Both victims were found shot to death. The case was linked to the Laundrie's case briefly, although police later announced that the deaths were not connected. I'm not so sure about that because Brian Laundrie was spiraling out of control. That is my opinion, based on witnesses that, had encounters with him and, him acting just like a full-blown weirdo outside of a restaurant and wanting to argue with the staff over the bill. I don't put nothing past that son of a bitch. Okay, the most recent development is a body found is that of Sarah Bayard, 55, pictured upper right. Let's look. Her. Okay. She was found deceased in El Paso County, Colorado, off of Highway 83 and North Pinery Parkway in Douglas County. The area is close to where Gabby and Brian shared Instagram pictures. A coroner has not yet released Bayard's cause of death. Let's take a listen to this, see what it says. Oh, it's freaking Fox News.
Laundrie, the actual Brian Laundrie, still remains missing despite several weeks of searching.
We've done seen that. We done seen that crap. We watched that video the other day. That is not him. That man been out hiking, staying in a motel with his girlfriend, and I actually don't think he looks anything like Brian Laundrie. I really don't. Their noses are different. Their eyebrows are different. Their facial structure is different. If I saw this guy in public, I wouldn't have said, oh my God, there's Brian Laundrie. No. Some of these people drive me crazy on here, y'all. Sad to see that some, I know it. Can you believe it? Hey, Mike, Emily, Cheryl, I read that law enforcement found it, then the laundries, then they handed it. Oh, really, Remy? See, the way it's written here, it's like the laundries went to the Carlton Reserve, and that's when they found the notebook and stuff. Who knows? You could be right. Maybe this is why they searched so hard. Money for being all the possible connections. Yeah. I mean, I just don't really believe in coincidences when it comes to true crime. I mean, I suppose it could just be a coincidence, but I think there is some sort of connection between Brian Laundrie and the two ladies, the two newlyweds, Kristen and Colin, that were murdered. There has to be some connection there. I mean, one of the girls worked at what was it called, the Moonflower or something? Brian and Gabby had been there, and here these two girls were camping. They tell a friend some creepy guy is camped next door, and we all know Brian was acting like a freaking nut. So who knows? If he's not responsible for their murders, it's somebody that they know from their life. An ex-lover, an ex-friend. You just never know. It could be an ex-lover. Hell, the other day, there was a mailman. He's out on his delivery route delivering mail, and his ex-girlfriend come up and gunned him down. He'll have no fury like a scorned woman, they say. Okay, what else? Let me say, guys. I'm looking through my private chat here because I got a bunch of links here. I think that is all I have on Brian right now. Let me go look. Is MGL still down there harassing the family? Yeah, I mean, I don't like the laundries. I want justice for Gabby. I want to know what happened. But I just don't think harassing this older couple is the way to go about it. That's just not my style, and I'd never do it. That's just not the way I roll. Okay, Brian Laundrie's remains likely those found in Florida Nature Preserve, family lawyer says. I think MGL put up some kind of big banner in the yard and put people's name on it from YouTube that's been covering the case. Because, they all think that they're the only ones that cover it. I'm going to try not to get on that this morning. Let's see. Let me click here. Some of these people, they piss me off over these cases, guys, the way they act like, oh, they're the only ones that do anything around here. Brian St. John had the video up, made my dad cannot effing stand. I can't either. I tried to give her another chance. Cement shoes that she likes to manipulate people. I just don't like. I guess that's why my channel is never going to be successful, because I'm not going to do outrageous things like that for a view. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it because my heart is leading me to do it, not for views. I think it's bullcrap. Next thing you know, they'll be saying she found his body. Fox had it on camera. They found it first. Did they? Okay. I can't watch me either. I unsubscribed like a long time ago. Like after that Shanann Watts stuff, she made fun of Shanann, I unsubscribed. And then, she went off to some other platform, came back. D-Live, I believe. So I gave her another chance. But then after the Cash Gurn and stuff, no, I don't believe in harassing family members. I don't believe in talking to a grandmother like she's a dog when her grandson's been murdered. I don't believe in that crap. I'm not going to support people like that. Okay, let's see what it says about Brian. The apparent remains. Okay, we already know this. That's all it's saying. The apparent remains. But a formal identification of the remains could take longer, according to CNN. They were found in an area that had until recently been underwater. A medical examiner arrived at the reserve Wednesday. I know, I was watching it on the news on Fox. Bertolino said the Laundrie's parents helped law enforcement locate some items believed to be their sons in the nature preserve. The park had been closed to the public before Wednesday, he said, but the parents had provided officials with locations that Brian had liked to visit. Chris and Roberta Laundrie searched through the park while closely accompanied by law enforcement, Bertolino said. Chris found a white dry bag 20 feet off a trail and showed it to officials. I knew I heard the news say dry bag. Dry bag 20 feet off trail, showed it to officials who informed him that a backpack and human remains had been found nearby. The Laundries were then asked to leave the preserve, the family lawyer said. The remains were found in the preserve, a police spokesperson for the Florida town of Northport said. So they found Chris found a white dry bag 20 feet off a trail and showed it to officials who then informed him that remains had been found. So they actually didn't find their son's remains. Okay. So that clarifies some things there. MJ acted like she single-handedly got Cassie out what had become annoying me is it seemed like some protesters cared more about YouTube subs. I don't like the lead guy. He's a little pompous. Yeah. Well, I mean, they had no choice. It wasn't just her knocking on the door, the reason Cassie came out. They really had no choice but to come out because they had their kids inside. And I think they were getting ready to do an interview with, I don't know if it was Good Morning America or what. But they basically came outside so that those people would hush and leave them alone. Now, I got more respect for Cassie because at least she did come out and say something. At least she did come out and face everybody, you know. I wish Chris and Roberta would do that. That they just come out. They don't got to take questions. Just come out and give a statement from their own freaking lips. That sounds as fishy as what they found from the Dutch girls in Panama. I know it's very fishy, y'all. It's very fishy. That's why I was thinking this morning, hey, there's a lot of old cemeteries in Florida. Who knows? They could have dug up somebody's body and just placed it there. I doubt that happened. I know that's a little outrageous to think, but hey, anything's possible. I try to think about all possibilities, y'all. I'm a what if person. I've been on the belief Brian killed himself from the start. He didn't want to face prison. Strangulation takes time more than blunt force. Snap. Yeah. Strangulation takes about 4.5 minutes. Yeah, about 4 minutes to totally strangle someone to death. I learned that from the Watts case. And it was on Forensic Files the other night. It takes about 4 to 4.5 minutes to strangle someone dead. That's a long time, guys. Think about that. It's up close, very, very personal. They're looking into their victim's eyes. Just think about that. Exactly, it's a crying shame. Like, they could have at least just responded to Gabby's mom's text. At least a response. They ghosted them. Now the shoe is on the other foot. Now their son is likely dead. Pressure is coming on soon, honey. Hey, sweet crazy. Yeah. Hey, Boogeyman. YouTube algorithm has hid the John Freeman cult story. I don't know about. I like that name, Boogeyman. I love that movie, The Boogeyman. Let me look that name up real quick while we're just sitting here chatting. I want to see who they're talking about. John Freeman cult. Okay. Then we got to go on to some missing persons cases. Some kids. Got more cases than just the Laundrie case. Okay. Update. Sex offender John Colt captured in Utah after 3 months on the run. That was 2021. Kansas sex offender hid in Utah campsite with fake name, investigators say. Runaway sexual predator arrested in Utah. Wow. I'm going to look more into him when I get off here. So I'm telling how many victims he had. The parents remind me of Scott Peterson's parents when Lacey was killed. You know, poor old Scott's mom. I like Scott. I used to like her. I think she passed away I know she was on oxygen during his trial, but she really believes her baby boy is innocent and did not kill Lacey. That's what she really believes, or that's what she used to say she believed. Deep down, I'd say she knew he did it. Oh, did you read about him? I hadn't read about that weirdo. Sex offender. I've been pulled back a little bit from true crime, because I've just had other things going on and stuff. So I have missed a lot. Okay, let's go look at this Amber Alert, guys. Let's pray for Gabby's family. And I know that a lot of y'all don't want to, but let's pray for Chris and Roberta. I know they probably don't deserve it, but I'm going to pray for them anyways. Because this is just a tragic situation all the way around. Now, 2 people are dead. It's just sad. It's sad. I do think he was abusive to Gabby. I do. I think he was mentally abusive. He could have been physically abusive as well. I saw a picture when they were at the sand dunes. She had a couple little bruises on her back. But, she could have got those from anywhere. I bump into something, it looks like I've been beat to death. Somebody punched me in the leg or something. Okay. Anyways. Let's see. Authorities in Wisconsin are continuing to search for a 3-year-old boy whose mother was found murdered last week. Oh, look at him and his little curly hair. Authorities issued an Amber Alert for 3-year-old Major P. Harris after his mother, Mallory Munzenberger, Munzenberger, I don't know how you say it, was found dead of an apparent homicide in a yard in Milwaukee on Thursday. The mother and son reportedly lived in La Crosse, which is 200 miles from Milwaukee. Major's father, who reportedly lived in West Virginia, told TMJ4 that he doesn't know why the boy and his mother were in Milwaukee. It remains unclear exactly when or where Major was last seen. As previously reported, the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel obtained multiple police reports that showed conflicting information about the boy's last known location. One report stated he was last seen October 9th, possibly traveling to Milwaukee from La Crosse. Another stated he was seen on October 15th, the day of his mother's murder. According to Wisconsin Public Radio report, authorities have not confirmed that Major was present at the site of his mother's murder. The report states that police did not know that the boy was in the mother's care until they contacted relatives to notify them of her death. Oh, my Lord, it's untelling. He's probably not alive, unfortunately. Police identified 20-year-old Jaheim K. Clark as a suspect in Munzenberger's murder and boy's disappearance. On Sunday, authorities apprehended the suspect at a residence in Milwaukee, but he fatally shot himself as police were approaching. Investigators did not locate the boy at the scene or in the suspect's vehicle, which was reportedly found on Monday. We did find a quantity of blood in the vehicle. Milwaukee PD Inspector Paul Formallo told reporters at the news conference on Tuesday, according to the Wisconsin Public Radio. Obviously, that is the evidence that we have out to a Wisconsin regional crime lab, and I can't say where that would have originated from, but hopefully they will be able to give us some answers in the coming days. We sure hope that Major is alive, Formallo said, adding that he was concerned police have not yet located the missing boy. We need information to assist us as we further this investigation. We need the community's help. Anyone with possible information is urged to call the Milwaukee PD Sensitive Crimes Division, 414-935-7405. Let's take another look. You people out that way, keep your eyes out for little Major. Look at him, how cute. I would say if his mom was murdered, the murder suspect took his own life. Unfortunately, I feel like that little Major was probably murdered, more than likely. I hope not. He could have took him and sold him to somebody. I hope he is found safe and sound. But it's not looking good, guys. It's not. We'll keep following this story, and let's pray for Major's dad and all the family. Bless his little heart. I hope I'm wrong about this case. Okay. Let me look at the chat a minute before we go on to the cray cray nurse. As for moms protecting their sons, my experience was that DV, but his mom always asked what I did wrong for him to do what he did. What did I do while looking at my black eye, broken arm? Yes, I dated a guy. I'm behind in the chat here. I dated a guy in high school, and he drugged me. He used to hit on me and stuff. And he drugged me out of the house by the hair of my head down the stairs. His mom and dad came out, and his dad got him off of me. He threw like a $3,000 ring in the yard, like never found him. Anyways, his mom asked me why I lied to him. And let me tell y'all what I lied about. I lied about a man in Walmart. You know how somebody will, be packed and somebody will brush right by you. Well, the guy brushed right by me and touched my butt on accident. And I lied to my boyfriend. His name is Travis, because I knew how he would freak out and how jealous he was. He beat the shit out of me over that. And his mommy took up for him. Yes. That's how I know how these abusive men roll. I've been dealing with them since I've been 4 years old. I know how they are. They don't fool me. Some of these guys that act all nice in front of people, they don't fool me. I know how they are behind closed doors. You can just tell by their personality. Hold on, let me let one of my dogs out. Who is that? I could have swore I heard a dog whining. I didn't see one. Okay, so this weirdo nurse right here, y'all, basically a serial killer. He's killing patients by injecting air into their arteries. Killing them. Damn, the wind's blowing. Homicidal nurse kills 4 patients by injecting air into their arteries. Okay, a homicidal nurse could face the death penalty after he was convicted this week of murdering 4 patients, the Tyler Morning Telegraph reports. Jurors on Tuesday found 37-year-old William George Davis guilty of capital murder in the deaths of John Lafferty, I think it's Lafferty something, Donald Clark, Christopher Greenway, Joseph Kalina, who each had experienced neurological complications and died while recovering from surgeries. Authorities allege that Davis injected air into the patient's arteries after they had heart surgery at Christus Trinity Mother Francis Hospital in Tyler, Texas, between 2017 and 2018. At trial, Dallas pulmonologist Dr. William Yarbrough testified how injecting air can cause death. He told jurors that he was able to identify air in the victim's arterial systems by viewing brain scans. Yarbrough, I guess I said, also testified that injections must have occurred following the surgeries because the complications arose while the patients were recovering. Davis' defense attorney, Philip Hayes, argued that his client was being used as a scapegoat for a hospital that had purported safety problems. Hayes said that Davis was charged only because he was present when the deaths occurred. Security footage showed that Davis was the last person to enter at least one of the victims' rooms before complications began. Davis claimed that he entered the room to shut off an IV pump alarm, but records later revealed that there was no alarm. Yeah, they can go back, like those IV poles and stuff. They can go back and they can look and see when the alarms went off. Everything's so sophisticated now. In closing arguments, prosecutors said that Davis liked to kill people and that there had been. Okay, hold on. In closing arguments, prosecutors said that Davis liked to kill people and that there have not been any similar deaths since Davis left his job. The state presented evidence against Davis for 11 days, while the defense took 2 days to present 4 witnesses. The sentencing phase of the trial started Wednesday, and prosecutors are seeking the death penalty. A newsflash for all you weirdos. Don't kill people in Texas. They'll put your ass on death row. You'll be cuffed, stuffed, booked, and cooked. I wish they still had an electric chair. Hey, these weirdos that get out and rape children, murder children, women, and innocent people, murder men, they deserve to be electrocuted, especially the weirdo pedophiles, rapists. They deserve death. Even if they just molested or raped somebody and they didn't kill them, they still deserve the death penalty because that's a life sentence their victim has to live with every day in their brain. Yeah, you can go on and carry on a normal life and all that, but it affects you. Trust and believe it affects you. That's why I'm so freaking crazy. Abuse. Charles Cullen and James Toppin are the worst. There's one crazy woman who killed elderly patients and took selfies lying next to them making faces. Oh, I just watched about a nurse in Canada, and she worked at a veterans hospital. And, she would go in there and get on top of those veterans, sometimes unzip her little dress or top so it was down, and strangle them while her boobs is hanging out. She killed, I don't know how many of them. Okay, they caught on because the hospital had like a lot of deaths. She was giving them, she injected them with something, potassium chloride. She was injecting them with something that mimics a heart attack. Anyway, she would straddle them after she would inject them, pull out her boobs, and just watch them die. Well, they caught on to her. They fired her from her job. They was getting ready to charge her with murder. She calls in a bomb threat to the damn hospital. She was desperate. Of course, they knew it was her. Jane Toppin was from around the early 1900s. Yes, I know about Jane. And Nanny Doss, the giggling granny. One of my favorite women serial killers, not favorite, the one that intrigues me, let me say it that way, besides Eileen Wuornos, is, oh my gosh, her name just left my mind. She is from North or South Carolina, and she poisoned her husbands to death. What is her freaking name? I cannot think of it, and I know her name as good as I know my own. Cement Shoes, do you know who I'm talking about? Tell me her name. Okay, Hibiscus, I will check that. Let me see. Let me look up her name. She killed her husbands by rat poison and her boyfriend. I just watched a documentary. I know everything about this woman, and now I cannot think of her name. But she was from a small town. No, it's not Belle Gunness. Taylor. Let me see. Let me look this up. James Taylor. That's her husband she killed. Hold on. Let me look his name up. James Taylor. Now, this woman was a Southern belle. Let's see. James Taylor killed wife. Let me put poison. I cannot think of her name. It was just like in the early 90s. Blanche Taylor Moore. That's it. Elizabeth Montgomery played her. They did a Lifetime movie about Blanche's case, and Elizabeth Montgomery played Blanche Taylor Moore in the movie, and you can find it here on YouTube. It's such a good movie, and it's right on with the facts. Lifetime don't do that no more. Their movies are not like right on with the facts the way it happened. But with the Blanche Taylor Moore movie, it's good. Look it up. All you got to punch in is Blanche Taylor Moore movie, YouTube. Let me get the link because I want y'all to watch this when you get time. She's like a Southern belle, pretty woman. Okay, right here. I got the link to it. I didn't finish watching. Y'all check out this movie when you get a chance. It's free here on YouTube. It's called Black Widow Murders, the Blanche Taylor Moore story, 1993. Let me screen share. And I got to share another case with y'all before I get off here. I can't play the movie, but there's her husband, Dwight. She tried to kill him. Let's see if we can find Elizabeth Montgomery. There she is. Elizabeth Montgomery. I love her. Y'all, I felt Bewitched on the TV on GAC channel at the evenings. Bewitched. I Dream of Jeannie. I love Elizabeth Montgomery. Right there is a good movie. It's got good volume. The picture's not that bad. Okay, one more case to share with y'all. I do hear a dog scratching. Come on, baby. Bopperoonie. That's what I call Lady. Bopperoonie. She's always bopping around the house. So happy. So there's a little girl, Cleo Smith. She disappeared from an Australian campground. At first, I thought this was in Washington State, but she's cute as a button. She was camping with her mom and stepdad, and she disappeared Saturday. She's 4 years old. 4 members of the Army assisted searchers as they come through areas around the Blowholes campsite in Macleod. Is it Macleod? Australia? Australia. So far, search crews have found no traces of the child, but thermal drones brought in by the military are being utilized. Family members reported Cleo missing on Saturday morning. She was last seen with her family at the Blowholes campground, where they were staying in a tent. I wonder why they call it Blowholes. Cleo's family told authorities they woke up to find her missing around 6 a.m. on Saturday. They reportedly last saw her at 1:30 a.m. that morning. Red flag just went up for me, y'all. I don't believe this crock of crap. Police previously announced they are not ruling out anything at this point, shortly after Cleo's mother, Ellie Smith, sat down with ABC News and explained what happened before her daughter vanished. I got her some water. She went to bed, Smith said. I checked on Isla, youngest daughter, made sure she was okay. I got back in bed, and that was it, really. We went back to sleep, woke up to Isla wanting a bottle. Am I saying that right? I don't know. As we passed the divider, I went into the other room, and the zipper was open. Cleo was gone, and that was about it for Saturday morning until everything started. Oh, look how cute. Suspicious of them, that stepfather. On Tuesday, a new detail emerged in the case that caused concern to heighten that Cleo may have been abducted. Western Australia police stated a zipper on the tent that Cleo slept in was up too high for a 4-year-old to reach. Inspector John Monday announced that authorities were gravely concerned for the missing child's safety after discovering the zipper was opened. The positioning of the zipper for the flaps is one of the circumstances that caused us to have grave concern for Cleo's safety, Monday said on Wednesday. The tent has been thoroughly examined by our forensic team, and I believe it has been seized, and I would imagine that would make its way down to Perth at some point. Okay, we're gonna listen to this.
We have new details from police tonight as they investigate the disappearance of WA toddler Cleo Smith. Ben Downey is live for us from Carnarvon. Ben, what can you tell us?
Evening, Ange. We've just had an update from police that's had some pretty explosive revelations. I'll walk you through them now. The first and the largest is that the zipper required to open that tent that Cleo was sleeping in on Saturday morning was too tall for her to reach, meaning an adult had to have opened that tent. It's made more explosive, I suppose, when added to the fact that police say the accounts of both of her parents are rock solid and their movements were not suspicious at all, leading investigators to believe it's increasingly more likely a person that's a third party had opened that tent on the night of Cleo's disappearance. Another revelation that came out of this latest update from investigators is they currently have no formal suspects if it is the case that Cleo has been abducted. They do, however, have a broad group of people, but what they're doing right now is they're clamping down on a group of between 10 to 20 known sexual predators that live inside this Midwest Gascoyne region of WA, retracing their steps, making sure they were nowhere near here from the Friday to the Sunday that's just been passed. There has been some good news, though. Investigators are saying that they've had some breakthroughs with CCTV footage that's been collected from service stations in about 1,000-kilometre radius around here. That's what's been able to they've been able to use to develop that broad group of people that they're now starting to get in touch with. And with saying all of that, while there are some serious developments here, police are taking the prospect that Cleo has wanted off just as seriously. The search has expanded again today. It's clocked up more than 20 square kilometres. The Army has joined the search as well. They're using thermal drones that can work in the night, but so far still no sign of Cleo. Ange?
Significant developments there. Thank you so much, Ben Downey. As police race against the clock to find Cleo, a retired British police officer who worked on the Madeleine McCann case has shared his insights into how the investigation will develop.
Well, there'll be a senior officer who's got all sorts of facilities available. So there'll be a fingerprint expert, DNA expert, CCTV images, mobile phone tracking expert. All these people will be given different tasks. So if you look at the tent, for example, it looks very likely that she has been abducted. So they'll be going through that tent with a fine-tooth comb, looking for any fingerprint and DNA that doesn't match the family or as a stranger, basically. With the mobile phone.
How do you abduct a child from a tent with the parents sleeping side by side? Yeah, there was like a little room divider in the tent.
We've got all sorts of filming on their mobile phones. And sadly as well, that we've already seen that the biological father's been interviewed because the police can never rule out that angle. A study in the States found that 61% of children were killed by their parents. So it really is quite sad, but it's an uncomfortable thing. But the police will have to speak to the parents and any relatives to see if there's anything there as well. And they'll also be looking at known sex offenders in that area, people who've offended in a similar manner, abduction of children, and they'll be going through all the files of that. They'll also be looking, I've no doubts, across Australia. They'll be working with other Australian law enforcement agencies to see if there's been any similar incidents, and also, if need be, internationally. When things like this or FBI or no doubt the Australian Federal Police to see when.
Oops, I was muted. I was going to say this reminds me of the Dior Coons case. Okay, we get it. They're going to do fingerprints and all that. Something is not right with this story. So they have a big tent, one of the tents where there's like 2 rooms, right? So Cleo is sleeping on one side, mom and dad on the other. I'm not sure where the youngest one was at. Okay, so she wakes up and the zipper's undone and Cleo's gone, but Cleo is only 4 years old and she can't reach the zipper. Someone took her out of that tent. Either her parent, her mom, and stepdad done something to her, or someone abducted her. I think if she wandered off, they would have found her. I mean, they got drones, heat sensors, and everything. She is beautiful. I'm not going to accuse the parents of nothing right now, but I am very suspicious of them. But for now, I'm going to hold off judgment and just pray that they find her safe and sound. And no wildlife gets a hold of her, like dingoes. They got all kinds of wildlife there in Australia. If I were camping in a tent, I'd sleep one eye open. Well, I have camped out a lot. I have camped with my son, and he slept beside of me. It was a big tent. Didn't have a room divider. But any little thing, I would wake up, when we're camping. I'm like that at home, too. If Smokey gets up, automatically I would wake up out of a deep sleep. Last night, I woke up to a water sound. Smokey, he's blind and old, was confused, and he was just peeing right beside his bed, guys. Yeah. I could tell that he was, really confused. Dogs get dementia, too. People remember kids are geniuses. If they want something bad enough, they'll find a way to get out. Who knows? Why was the room divider down? I do not know. She was on the same side as her sister. Yeah. So, why not? If someone was going to abduct, why not take the youngest child? Why take Cleo? Something is not right with this. I want to know if there's like any cameras at the camping ground entrance or inside the campground. I want to know if anybody saw this little girl at the campground to begin with, because we don't know. Oh, I love camping too. Me and Mark used to, when we had the Jeep, we would just like lay the seats down sunny side and put like an air mattress back there. And me and him and Smokey would sleep back there. And if Timothy went with us, he'd sleep beside of me. I'm going to get me a little camper though. I am. Sorry, but losing a child in the outback is not going to, no, it's not, Bookie Man. It's not. Now they're acting like that, maybe she was abducted. I don't think so. Something else happened. I could be wrong. But I feel like something else happened. Like, why wouldn't they take the other child, the smallest one? This doesn't make sense. Well, guys, let's pray that they find her safe and sound. I hope they do. I'll keep y'all updated. I'll keep my eye out for any updates. I guess that does it for True Crime this morning. Tonight, channel members, we are going to have a channel member stream. I'm doing a tarot card reading. I'll just pull like one card for y'all. Y'all can ask me a yes or no question because we're going to practice for the Halloween live stream because we're going to be reading cards on there. We might do more than one card, like maybe like a 3 cards reading on Halloween night. But tonight we're going to do like a 1 card reading. So if y'all want to ask any questions, feel free. Ask me a yes or no question tonight. Hey, I read my own cards all the time. I'm out of sage, so what I do is I come out here and I read my cards in the fresh air, and they're always like really, really accurate. If I read my cards and I get my reading and then I shuffle again and do another reading, it's always the same. Yeah. She's 4 years old. So sad, isn't it? I just think if she wandered off by herself, they would have found her, right, Boogeyman, by now. They got the army and everything out there, drones, everything. She could have wandered off. It happens all the time. They just found a little kid in Australia a while back who had wandered off. Yeah, I was suspicious of his parents too, but they found him safe and sound. But anyways, prayers for the family. Y'all have a great day. Thanks for chatting with me, channel members. I'll see y'all tonight around 8 p.m. Eastern time. And be thinking of a question you want to ask me, a yes or no. And I will read your cards tonight. Or I will read a card for you tonight. It's going to be fun, guys. It'll be fun. Anyways, y'all have a great day. Be safe, be kind, and peace.